Hi, I'm Phil. Thanks so much for joining us today for the first Stadia Connect. This series gives you a look at Stadia news, events, new titles, bonus features, and more. We'll be posting these Stadia Connect videos from
Son of a bitch! 2 seconds! 2 seconds!
Bring you the latest from Google straight to all of you.
So is this how our video games are gonna look?
We've got a bunch of exciting news to share with you today, so let's get started. 3 months ago, we gave you a first look at Stadia, a new generation game platform powered by the best of Google. Today, we're going to tell you about the first wave of games available at launch. We'll share pricing details, including an exclusive launch offer, and you'll learn how to become one of the first Stadia players. Stadia has been years in the making across different Google teams. Google's mission has always been to make information more accessible for everyone. With Stadia, our goal is to make gaming more accessible for everyone too. We designed Stadia to bring together game players and game watchers from around the world into one global community of gamers. And Stadia makes it easy to play your favorite games on any screen in your life. At launch later this year, you'll be able to play Stadia games on your TV, desktop, laptop, tablet.
They discontinued that laptop.
And
they don't even sell that anymore.
Smartphones, starting with Pixel 3, as well as the brand new Pixel 3a that we announced last month. Wherever you are, Stadia lets you play the latest games. No downloads, no patches, no installs. Just grab your controller and you're in. This level of access and availability represents a huge shift in the gaming world. Instead of a console or a PC, you're using Google's data center as the platform. We handle the intense gameplay processing and graphics, so there's no console required to play your favorite games. That's what Stadia is all about, the games. Today, we're unveiling the very first wave of games coming to the platform at launch. We're working with hundreds of leading publishers and developers around the world to deliver their biggest and best titles to Stadia. We've lined up an incredible selection of games spanning nearly every genre, including fighting, sports, role-playing games, first-person action, and racing titles. And we're just getting started. This worldwide exclusive unveil comes straight from our friends at Rerez Studios.
Who?
Rerez Studios?
Okay, well, the resolution's clearly breaking down, so they're having issues streaming it. Wow, this is how they're gonna get people in the Stadia? This gotta start soft, guys. You don't. What are they doing?
Is that a Cthulhu?
I think that's a Cthulhu monster.
That's what do they call it? It's a D&D game.
Is it Baldur's Gate? Baldur's Gate.
Oh.
Okay.
Is that exclusive?
Yeah. Would you really want to play Baldur's Gate with a controller?
So
Rerez is a company where we try to give everybody a lot of freedom because we want them to come with their IDs. No, thanks, man. Forget it. My name is Sven Vinke. I am the founder and director of Rerez Studios. So Rerez Studios was founded in '97 in Ghent in Belgium. I've seen the entire evolution of the games industry. We keep on driving the state-of-the-art forward so fast. You don't have that in music, you don't have it in movies. But in video games, you have it, and Stadia is like the next leap. I mean, it is quite revolutionary. Rerez Studios was founded to be able to create big epic RPGs in which the world reacts to what you're doing, in which you could play together with your friends. When we released Divinity Original Sin 1, I tried approaching Wizards of the Coast, trying to tell them that we should be the ones making Baldur's Gate 3.
if
They didn't necessarily believe me back
say
then,
the word
but then we
exclusive,
started
it
making
might be
Divinity
easier.
Original Sin 2, and then at
So
some
it's
point they
not-
just
it's
reached
not the
out to me
original
and they said,
creators
well,
of
you're the
Baldur's
guy
Gate.
that wanted to make Baldur's Gate 3. Do you still want to make Baldur's Gate 3? You say, yeah, of course I still want to make Baldur's Gate 3. And that got the conversation rolling, and before you knew it, we were constructing story. It was awesome. It was a geek dream come true. Baldur's Gate 3 is the biggest game that we've ever done. We had to triple the size of the studio to be able to do it. Production values are very, very, very high, but the game deserves it. I mean, it's people have been waiting on it for a very long time, so it deserves to be top-notch in every single aspect, and it's shaping up to be a beautiful game. But the coolest thing about it all is that by
Divinity.
bringing it to Stadia, pretty much everybody is going to be able to play it at the
the
highest quality
Divinity games
settings.
are
Yeah,
also
okay,
s-
so that's
really
that's
good.
yeah,
Stadia
all right, so there you go. They could do Baldur's
democratic
Gate
in that
then.
sense
So
if you
close
want.
to
It
what
doesn't
is anyway.
differentiate
All right.
between what platform you're playing it on because everything is server-based.
We can't wait for you to play Baldur's Gate 3 on Stadia. And whether you're playing an RPG like Baldur's Gate 3 or any of the other titles and genres we'll share today,
I
we know that
absolutely
players
don't like the idea
demand
that it's
the
a
most
server-reliant
responsive
game.
experiences
That
from
doesn't
their
sound
games.
good. That's not
and
what
we
the
have
Baldur's Gate games
architected
were originally
Stadia
like, so
to
they're
give
gonna
you
make a
the
new idea
fastest
of what
possible
Baldur's Gate should
response
be.
between what your fingers are doing
They want
and
that
what your
series to
eyes are
evolve.
seeing.
The time.
So, what does that mean for the internet connection you're on right now? Let's quickly dig into the numbers. Our highest quality gaming experience is remarkable, with 4K HDR video at 60 frames per second and 5.1 surround sound. We're able to deliver this experience to users with a connection speed of around 35 megabits per second. And with Google handling the processing load, you can enjoy smooth gameplay even if you don't have that kind of connection. So let's say you have a connection
what's
speed
this
of just
connection
10
at?
megabits
Canadian,
per
they can't
second.
hold it?
You can still get at least
'Cause, yeah.
720p video at 60 frames per second with stereo sound. We're
No,
really
don't
proud
do it.
of the experience we're able to deliver, and it's all thanks to more than 20 years of work at Google, building and optimizing our networks and data centers to support services with billions of users like YouTube, Gmail, Android, Google Play, Maps,
Have they talked
and of
to
course
Americans
Google
before?
Search.
'Cause
The latency and
Americans I know
speed
who
demands
speak
of
to me and
online
I
gaming
visit them,
aren't
they
far
don't
off
have
from
those
the
kind of internet
demands we've been
connections
meeting
at
for
Stan.
years. We handle the
All
back
right.
end so you can play the games you want when you want on whatever screen you prefer. Back in October of 2018, we put this idea to the test with Project Stream. We invited users to stream Assassin's Creed Odyssey at up to 1080p and 60 frames per second. It was a phenomenal gaming experience on a wide range of PCs and laptops that were simply running a Chrome browser. With Project Stream, we demonstrated that we can transmit the live instance from the data center to your screen faster than your eye is transmitting those images to your brain. That's critical for fast-paced games on Stadia, like Mortal Kombat. It's truly a new paradigm for gaming. And since we announced Stadia a few
fine
months
when it
ago,
works.
we've gotten a lot of
right.
interest about this new way to play. In our conversations and meetups with game developers, they're excited about the possibilities of an ever-evolving play experience. And we can't wait to get Stadia
matter
in the
what
hands
they
of
say,
gamers
they can't
later
test
this year.
this on a wide
So let's
scale.
share
The
some more
actual
details about the
necessity to
platform
test this on
and
a
what
wide
you'll
scale
need to get
means thousands
started
upon thousands
at
of people
launch.
testing it
You'll get the best
for
experience
weeks,
playing with our
and they
new
don't have that
Stadia
ability.
controller.
As far as I know, those
It's designed
tests with
specifically for
Assassin's
streaming
Creed
games,
Test
and
the
it
PlayStation
includes a
4 game, you get
capture
a bunch of
button for
people
your
in a
game
room with
footage and a
PlayStation 4.
button
You
to
can't do that
access
with
the
this.
Google Assistant. Of course, you can also play Stadia games with any supported game controller or with a mouse and keyboard. The only other thing you need is a screen to play on. Want to play on the HD TV in your living room? Just plug in a Chromecast
That's also
Ultra.
a problem. You can't.
If you'd rather play on
you
your
have to have
laptop,
a locked
desktop, or
support
tablet,
of controller,
open a
because if you have
Chrome
too many
browser
controllers,
window.
It gets too wild.
Our vision is for Stadia to run on any screen that runs Chrome. Or you can use the Stadia app on your Pixel 3. We'll be expanding to more screens down the line too, including more
Master of
smartphones.
everything, or,
when you're
tenth
ready
of
to play,
everything,
the
master of
Stadia
none.
controller
Well,
connects
we could
directly
point
to
to
your
a
game
PC
running in the
sort of,
Google Data Center.
configuration
That
there. I mean, you
direct
can use whatever you
connection
want on
is
PC,
key to
basically.
providing the highest possible performance and the best streaming experience. We have so many more details on the Stadia controller, which you can find at stadia.com. We're also a tweet away at Google Stadia to answer all your questions. We're very excited to introduce you to a number of new titles coming to Stadia at launch. Let's take a look.
Yeah, so we didn't hear anything about Baldur's Gate in the leak.
Well, I had heard about Baldur's Gate 3 a couple days ago, but nobody knew where it was going, so.
Alas,
Probably gonna be
the
available
beast
on
can't
everything.
be tamed that
They
easily.
would say exclusively to Stadia.
Oh, this is that Ubisoft game.
This wild territory is the perfect den for my kind.
It's like a DLC pack. For
Right.
A free world where I can roam and explore with no end.
I got so bored playing this, I don't even remember what it was called.
But I came here on the hunt, hidden among sheep, focused on their superficial dreams, moving up the food chain step by step before I dominate them all.
Punisher, right?
Ghost Recon, was it?
One target always
Wildlands?
clearly in my
Wildlands.
sights.
Ghost Recon Wildlands?
To secure the future with technology others developed, but were too fearful to deploy. By tooth and claw, I took this island, and by tooth and claw, I will rule it.
Actually, this might not be. This doesn't look like it. Yep. Diego just donated 10 pounds.
The
Thank
wolf
you, Diego.
knows when a predator nears.
Just say something.
Can a ghost take on the lone wolf?
Consider 3 months for this investment.
Maybe.
Alright, so it just glitched there, but good.
Analyzing, stalking, patiently, tirelessly. But there is no place for the weak and the wounded here.
Is this all pre-rendered?
We
I don't even know if we're
are
getting
It's
wolves.
pre-rendered.
Yeah, even the stuff that they're trying to make seem like it's
Oh my god, the stream is not holding up. Like, what do they want from us? Like, you have to prove that this works first.
And people have to take into consideration.
Okay,
folks.
that's in game.
Okay.
Maybe that would be in game. Look at the resolution.
Yeah. You got to take into consideration. This isn't coming 2 years from now. This is supposed to be dropping in 2019. So, yeah, we're struggling to stream.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a sequel, maybe to.
I don't
Wild
care.
Lands?
It's just those aren't good games. They're not. They're so bland. Vanilla Town. Like, I don't think they get it. Any game I can play on any other platform, no matter what, I'm going to be playing it on the other platform. I will not be picking it up on Stadia.
Yeah, they have to be showing us. No, wait. This is why you need a streaming console because it can do this that the actual can't. Resident Evil. Guilt.
Is that how you spell guilt?
No.
That looks like
G-U-I-L-T.
that looks like that's an exclusive.
Did it say?
It just said Stadia. They didn't say like any other system. Well, kids, do you like The Sims? Well, I hope
Do you like stealing furniture from people that aren't home? Are you literally just like ransacking our get packed? Oh, okay, it's a moving scene. This looks really good. But I'm not jumping off board yet.
The power of the servers, the networks we've raided. Here's a game that you could probably play on your cell phone.
You know that thing you hate doing on the weekend with your friends? We made a game out of it.
Oh, good. That looks like physics you can get anywhere. This doesn't look right.
Well, okay.
This looks like a game I could play on the modern system I have now. It's not
Looks like a game that we're showing off to, like, you know, make the EA sell,
Yeah.
maybe. Like,
Yeah.
remember Goat Simulator with its really weird physics?
Yep.
Division 2.
Yay! play Division
So Tom
while
Clancy's
playing
The
on a
Division
server
happened
on
7
another
months
server.
after a deadly pandemic that started in New York, spread not only across the nation,
As much
but
as this
also
isn't a game
across
for
the
me,
world.
and I'm sure not for you,
And you, as an
a lot of
agent
people are
of the
having
strategic
fun.
Oh no, they're
element
not.
of
The
the
latest
country
update
has
actually
been
pushed them
called
off
to
the game.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
did
latest
it?
to
update
help
really,
take the city
I think
back
it was like
and save the country.
50 or 70%
So one of the
gamers were
major
just like, this
challenges
is
is to
awful.
take an
And they got really upset
RPG
at it.
and
As
to
far as I had
create
heard,
a
a lot of
fast-paced,
people were enjoying it more than the
action-packed
first.
shooting game.
Yes, more people were
Until-
at the beginning
We
until the
learned a
update.
lot
massacre?
from the first game, and we improved on that. And what we have today, I think, is the best cover-based shooter RPG out there. One of the real benefits of choosing Washington, D.C. for the second game is that we have
The
all
only
of these
reason that's like this
amazing,
is they have
iconic
people
buildings.
making more Gears of War
The
games.
White House, the Capitol, we have the Air and Space Museum, we have the Lincoln Memorial, and of course, there's even a control point at the base of the Washington Monument.
How does
Stadia
this
means that you can
company
play your
not
game
just
anywhere.
look at the fact that they're doing
collaboration
GHOSTRECON
with
and
Google
this and
has
go, you
been
know what, are we
really
making the
awesome.
same game? I
They're
think we're making the
very
same
open,
game.
a
Does
very
anyone know if we're
open
making the
company.
same
They
game?
put us
I
as
thought we were
partners.
making the
We know
same game.
And then
they
there's
know
going to be a Watch
infrastructure.
Dogs game after this that looks
Together
like
we
these
can bring
games.
Well, that's
powerful,
in the UK.
visually
It's supposed to be
appealing experience.
Some weird
all
post-apocalyptic
Stadia
Brexit
users.
thing.
Together we can make the best of it. The exciting part about partnering with Google is that they really have the bandwidth and just the physical infrastructure to pull something like this off. Bringing the Division 2 to Stadia has been a learning experience and an immensely thrilling journey.
On the platform.
So
Like,
I'm
that's
really looking
not
forward
going to
to
sell
seeing
me
what
on
we can do in the
Stadia. Like,
future.
anyone that's interested in this game already bought this game. They're not going to buy it again to play on Stadia. You know what I mean? Like, even if they give it away for free, it doesn't matter.
That's a look at just some of the amazing titles we're bringing to you at launch. And now, here to tell you about Stadia's pricing and availability is my friend and colleague, John.
We're launching Stadia with a diverse mix of games
Oh, he's a
from
superhero
lots of
at night.
genres and world-class game publishers. There's truly something for everyone. With Stadia, you can put your money toward the things that really matter, the latest,
quality's
greatest
dropping
game
again. There we go.
experiences
We're back up.
that
Don't
you can
worry.
play
It's good.
anywhere. To unlock these experiences, we're offering a premium subscription for our Stadia players. Introducing Stadia Pro. It delivers the best of Stadia for just $9.99 per month.
Okay.
Stadia Pro gives you regular content that we add to your library for being a Stadia Pro member at our highest streaming quality. 4K, HDR, 60 frames per second with 5.1 surround sound. And we're going a step further to celebrate players who want to be the first playing on Stadia. We know there's a passionate world of players out there who want bigger, better, more accessible gaming experiences. After announcing Stadia, we've heard from so many gamers who share our excitement.
Quality dropped again.
For those fans, we've created a custom, limited edition set of exclusive features and content. We call it the Stadia Founders Edition, and you can pre-order it starting today. The Founders Edition includes everything you need to get started with Stadia, and you'll have the first access to Stadia when it launches later this year. We want to make sure your games look great on the biggest screen in your home, so the Founders Edition comes with a Chromecast Ultra for streaming it up to 4K HDR at 60 frames per second directly to your TV. You'll also receive a limited edition Night Blue Stadia controller, as well as 3 months
I
of
think
Stadia
that's
Pro.
black,
And we
but
know
I'll be
gaming
okay
is
with
more
that.
fun
That
with a
looked like
friend.
black to
It's
me.
The
because
Founders
the
Edition
quality
comes
of
with a
streaming
3-month Buddy Pass, so you can gift Stadia
very
Pro
different.
access to a friend or family
saying
member.
we're not seeing
You
the
can also
stream in
pick up
HDR?
an additional Stadia controller for $69. It comes in clearly white, just black,
I
and
wish you would have
wasabi.
done like a little. For $69.
And here's the best part about the Founders Edition. You'll be among the first players to secure your exclusive Stadia name. So you'll get the Stadia name you want and the bragging rights that go along with it. So you're getting a Chromecast Ultra, the limited edition Night Blue Stadia controller, 3 months of Stadia Pro for you and a friend, and you'll be among the first players to select a Stadia name. It's all in the Stadia Founders Edition, and it's coming to these 14 countries. And we're working hard to expand Stadia to additional countries in 2020
dropping again.
and beyond. We do have one more surprise. Gamers who buy the Stadia Founders Edition will get the complete Destiny 2 experience as part of Stadia Pro.
Oh, good, it crashed. This is insane. This is insane.
This is
They're
how
drunk.
I want to play my games.
They're drunk. Why
I
would you do
choose
this?
Stadia Because you know what? I don't need to have... Who wants a console? I don't have room in my apartment for a box that's about this big.
You're giving away, like, oh my god, we're gonna give you Destiny 2. Why do we care? We already have Destiny 2.
I mean, you'll have the ability to play the game, but you may not be able to actually play the game.
Let's take a look.
Oh, here we go. Let's back up.
This is dropping this year. I want to reiterate
hero
that.
set loose in a really beautiful world.
The first time I fired my super, I was like screaming, I'm so badass right now. I've been playing games for 30 years and I've never experienced that.
You download Destiny 2 for
Destiny is about playing with your friends.
Remember the
My
first
best
one
moments
you
are
played?
with other
Play it.
players. The first time I beat Vault of Glass, I know who was there with me. And that just makes it feel so much more rich.
Bungie's always been at the forefront
Aaron
of
Ingram
exploring
said
new
hot
ways
takes are
to
probably
bring
blaming
our
Google for the
games
bad
to our
internet.
players.
We have the
We are now
fastest
our own
internet in the
publisher. Did
city,
you know
one of
this?
the fastest connections at the
With
most
Stadia, you
expensive
get to be
price
the tip
point.
of the
Our
spear
internet is some of the most
with
stable
something
you will
that's new.
find where we live.
Our push
It's
now
not us,
is
it's them.
to
Sorry.
remove all the barriers that we have to
ROK
playing Destiny.
donated $2, says
Whenever,
thanks for playing
wherever,
bad games so we don't
with
have
whomever
to.
you want.
You're welcome.
We're allowing players to have access to all of it.
It's a
All of our
living.
planets,
It's a living.
cooperative
Yeah.
strikes, all of our competitive modes, Gambit, raids. It's all there for players to jump in and have fun
I'd
with.
rather be playing bad
Shadowkeep
games
is
right
the
now
next
than
chapter
watching
in the
this, to be
Destiny
honest.
story.
It's a pretty haunting tale. There are these
Do you know how
nightmares
it's
that are
not our
walking the
internet
moon,
connection?
and you'll have to
Because our
find a
stream
way to
isn't
conquer
dying
these
while we're
nightmares
talking
and
to
face
you.
your
Like,
fears.
that's how this works.
We have a lot to do
have
with
a
this.
Yeah, that's
later
true.
to
That's
fix it.
very
done.
true.
Like,
If our
geez.
stream had died, we would have been frozen
are in
along
control
with
of
the
our own
video.
destiny. Behind us, we have an incredible community. And with Stadia, I think we're going to open up an entirely new opportunity for players to come in and play with their friends from around the world.
I can't believe that they were like, we have to show off a new game. Let's show Destiny 2.
Well, no, this feels like just going into the junk drawer of what was hot a year and a half or 2 years ago, and then just
Looking to the
splash it into the
future
stream.
always brings us back to the past.
I'm not sold at all. This is like I was hoping
you
to be
feel
impressed.
them?
This is becoming more of a train wreck with every 2
I can
seconds
still
that pass.
hear their voices.
Like after this, they
Their
better
endless
show us
torment
exclusive
reshapes
games
our
that they
moon.
design that utilize this impressive new
Nightmares
piece
now
of tech.
stalk the surface. Walking shadows, seeking vengeance. Our old fears, they rise again. And in the dark below,
Electron Ash is watching Smash JT stream, and he said that
Something
it's
wicked
buffering on his side too. Yeah, it's literally Google Stream
has
buffering.
awakened.
So if Google has more than 128,000 people playing Stadia at one
Must
instance,
bring
we're gonna
an
have problems.
end to this suffering.
Because that's how many people are actually watching the stream.
One way or
I was hoping it'd
No,
another.
it said Shadowkeep Ordeal at the bottom. Yeah, I knew what this was.
I'm waiting for a game that's like, oh, like Baldur's Gate was
A big
interesting.
thank you to
I didn't
our
know
friends
that
at
much about
Bungie
Baldur's,
for
Baldur's
partnering
Gate
with us
3,
to bring the
so seeing
full
that part was
Destiny
cool.
2 experience to Stadia. The base game, all previous add-ons, the newest expansion, and the annual pass. They're all included in your Stadia Pro subscription. And as an added bonus, you'll be able to transfer your Destiny Guardian to Stadia from any other platforms. To recap, the Stadia Founders Edition
Why
comes
would I?
with
Why
limited
would I
edition
buy it
Night
again,
Blue
you
controller,
moron? If I already own the
Chromecast
game, why would I
Ultra,
buy it to buy it on another
3
platform?
months of
I guess what
Stadia
they're
Pro,
saying is if you
the
want
full
to be a
Destiny
part
2
of our
experience,
platform and pay
first
monthly,
dibs on your Stadia
Destiny's
name,
here too.
and
You
a
don't have
buddy
to go
pass
back
to
to your
get
old
Stadia
consoles.
Pro
You can
to
play
a
the
friend
other
for 3 months.
Stadia games
Good luck
and play
deciding
Destiny
who
2
you're
at
going
the
to
same
give it to.
time. I'm not saying I
When you
like
add
it.
everything
I'm
up,
just saying that's
it's
probably
almost
their perspective.
$300 of value. And you'll get it all in the Founders Edition.
Did
for
you
just
buy a bucket of ice cream and bring it
$129,
home?
which you can
Well, why don't you go
pre-order
monthly and
now.
pay it at some store you just
We're
went to? Like, you're not
excited
going to do
offer
that.
the
That
Founders
is,
Edition to gamers around the world, but it's only available for a limited time, in limited quantities. So don't wait too long to pre-order. If you don't want the Founders Edition or Stadia Pro, you can still buy and play Stadia games without a subscription. Simply buy the games you want when you want them. We call this Stadia Base, and any games you purchase, they're yours to play whenever you want. So whether you're ready to go all in with the Founders Edition bundle, or if you prefer Stadia Base, you have options. All right, let's bring Phil back for a few
so I
final
can buy a
details
copy
and
of the
surprises.
game
and then you
Thanks for
download it
tuning in to this first look at some of our most exciting
and then
launch
you can
titles,
just stream it
pricing
whenever you want.
details, and how to access Stadia right at launch.
See,
You can
even
get
when I
more
buy
details and
movies,
info
like
at
digital movies, digital music, I download a
stadia.com/FAQ,
copy.
or
I'm
you
never
can
gonna
find
be
it
able to
in
do
the
that with these
description
games.
here.
This is insane.
Or tweet
They're
us
not offering
at
the
Google
solutions.
Stadia. We'll have much more to come soon, including additional announcements from some of the world's best
You're
game
not
publishers.
ending the stream now.
Thanks for watching. I
Phil?
can't wait for you to experience Stadia for yourself.
You're not done,
and with
Phil.
that, we're excited to show you one last collection
us in,
of
Phil.
games.
Listen up already.
Oh man, what? There better be one more thing or something. There has to be. They did not just show that terrible Power Rangers fighting game. I saw Just Dance. How do you play that? Just Dance wouldn't play this out. Yeah, but with the Stadia controller?
You guys are weird.
I don't know, man.
Oh wow. Phil, get back. Phil, you didn't do your job, Phil. Phil! Oh, what's going on? How did they not show any games that they actually made? This is insane.
Well, I can tell you why. It's because the development teams that they're putting together behind the scenes have just begun on whatever they're working on, and we likely won't see anything that they've created for a year and a half or 2 years or something.
Why would anyone buy any of those games if they already own the games? If you were to buy the game standalone, chances are they didn't. Oh, there's so many things wrong here, folks. Okay. First off, you're not buying any of these games for your cell phone, period. That's not happening because you need a controller to play the games. That means you will not be taking your cell phone around and just playing these games casually. That's not gonna happen. If you're in front of your TV, you need a controller. So you need to go buy their controller no matter what. If you wanna actually play these games with the proper equipment to play it, you're gonna need to play it on a PC with a keyboard and mouse. That's the only thing you're gonna do here. If you have a PC with a keyboard and mouse, chances are you have the ability to play many of these games already. If you're having,
I'm trying to think of like the use cases for this streaming service, and like, okay, maybe there's a kid that just has a cell phone and he doesn't have access to a higher powered PC or a console, and then they can somehow attach a Bluetooth controller to their cell phone, and then but still that is far from the optimal way of playing these titles. And even if it ran perfectly, you don't want to be like, staring into this tiny little screen as you're playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey with your item text and stuff being super small.
Like, they understand that games that are developed for the Switch for portable mode have different UIs, have different HUDs because of how small they are. Those games are designed with physical controls in mind. It's like there's a whole philosophy to how portable games work. You just can't go, you can stream it on your phone and walk around. It doesn't work that way. That's not how it works.
Yeah, it's like you said before. They want to be everywhere, but that's to their detriment, I believe, because you won't get one perfectly optimized experience.
This is insane. They offered, it's like but Phil knows these things. He has to. He was there at Sony when they launched their own handheld devices. He knows that this doesn't work. And it's like, you showed off Baldur's Gate 3, cool. I'm not gonna be playing Baldur's Gate on a phone, dude. That's not how anyone's gonna do that unless you made a Baldur's Gate that's garbage, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, this is insane. This is insane. They didn't offer any solutions. They did flash and bang, but they didn't talk about anything that was actually going to make this platform sustainable.
4K.
They kept saying that. 4K,
HDR,
60 frames per second.
5.1 surround sound.
You can't promise that when you can't promise the stream works. It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, we've yet to see, as much as they promise us, we've yet to see the service actually running, like completely fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they've done tests. They've been supposedly the Assassin's Creed stuff did okay when they were streaming Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That was in 1080p at 60 frames per second, and that wasn't with a boatload of people playing it at the exact same time. It was a far more scaled back sort of test.
We got another donation from Diego, €5. Thank you, Diego. Next week, Dino Crisis Remake, Reboot, Rage 2 for Nintendo Switch, and Final Fantasy VII Reimagination.
You mean new stuff?
Yeah.
Stuff that hasn't come out yet, stuff that people have been asking for.
But I mean, like, even at its most basic, they were like, we have these games. Okay, those are newer games, but many of those games are already out on other platforms. Look, do you know why I wore this shirt today? This is a Pac-Man shirt, because in the history of video games, there's a lot of other games out there. Do you know how easy it would have been to get the rights to early games at 4K at 60 frames per second? You could be offering games from the past that we simply just need to work on a newer system. For instance, any Atari game, old games from Intellivision, doesn't matter. You could have this whole back catalog of classic games that could be built into the platform. They didn't even offer that. They offered, well, wouldn't it have been easy? It would have been so easy to have Pac-Man running at, like, remember, old video games run at this like smaller resolution. At 4K, you have a perfect one-to-one. That's why many of the SNES Classic and the NES Classic, they're locked at 720 and they don't want to go to 1080, because if they go to 1080, they actually have to rescale it, and it doesn't look that good. But at 4K, it's a perfect match for 720p when you scale it. So you could have classic games looking sharper and cleaner than ever before. Imagine, if you will, 4K resolution vector-style games that look sharp on a 4K display.
With glow.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful. And yeah, what you're saying is preaching to the choir right now, because we even had an online service that had shut down recently, one of the best ever on the Wii. We had their sort of virtual console offerings on the Wii. And oh man, if they were able to cater to a retro market as well as provide newer titles, maybe that would be more enticing. But still, we haven't seen streaming that works.
So here's what happened.
You can have whatever you want, but
It's
if your
true.
service doesn't work,
It's true. Here's what I can tell you right now. Microsoft went out and bought, I don't know, like 50 companies. They went out and bought like a whole bunch of developers all over. So we know that those developers are likely going to be making games for their next platform. We know that Nintendo is not going to be releasing their games on any other platform besides maybe cell phones once in a while, but even then, not the greatest position. We know Sony is going to be in the exact same boat. We know Steam is not going to be releasing, or Valve is not going to be releasing games very much, but if they do, it's going to be on their own platform. We know that Ubisoft doesn't care, and they'll release games anywhere they can, but that means as long as Ubisoft is making a game that exists on other platforms, it's going to make use of other platform hardware, which means it's never going to be made specifically for that thing. We know that EA, Sega, Rockstar, every game they showed on here, every company they showed is going to be in the exact same position. They will not make use of Stadia-specific features. This is insane. This means that if you are into gaming and you happen to buy a Switch because Nintendo's making games, you happen to buy a PlayStation because Sony's making games, you happen to buy an Xbox because Microsoft is making games, whatever those platforms are, even if you have the tiniest investment on any of the games you already own on any other digital distribution platform like Steam, the likelihood of you actually buying a game on Stadia for stream is almost zero. That's what they didn't answer today.
I think expectations-wise, I believe that when this service does go online, you may see some companies that will go back and tinker with their games a little bit to have them scalable for different devices. We see that when new consoles come out, like the Wii U, for example, people went and reworked some of their older titles for that. But if this does not have a good attach rate, you'll see that very slowly just flounder. And they'll stop doing that and they'll move on. So seeing folks...
And by the way, the list we mentioned earlier on about all the Google stuff that they canceled, this has happened before. Google does cancel products, and when they do, you've invested into something that you're never going to be able to pull back out again. And there have been other digital distribution services. In fact, OnLive was a thing that was an online service. They completely disappeared, and all the games people bought on there completely dissipated. And when it came to digital distribution networks of downloadable games, there was a downloadable service called Desura that completely disappeared. It happens all the time, and they've offered no future proofing to prevent that from happening.
So they're touting the fact that they have, oh no, you can buy the games as well. Like, either I'm streaming streaming games on the service, or I'm doing nothing at all. If I'm going to be buying games full priced and I don't even have the security of this being a digital download that's downloaded onto a box, to me that's just it's just air.
It's just air. Yeah.
You know, it's a theme park ticket.
That's right.
You use that theme park ticket and then you can enjoy yourself for a day or a week or a month or a year, but whatever.
Paper Lantern Drama Studio just donated $2. Thank you very much, Paper. He says, I hope they offer Snake in 4K and Solitaire 4K. Now that's a joke, I know, but do you know why they're not going to do that, and why I think they're not going to do the classic games thing? Because the actual server cost it would take, the amount of energy it takes, the amount of server or reservation it takes to play those older games means that what's likely going to happen is that they're going to lose money for every person going on to play a game like that, because it's not, it's using too much energy to play. The best way to explain this is, if you have a PlayStation 4 in your house or an Xbox One or whatever, you can play that, and whatever the power reserve to that thing is on you. But if you pre-bought, I don't know, millions of PlayStation 4s and just stacked them all over the world, and one person chose to play Solitaire on one, you're likely going to be losing money because that person isn't actually playing a more expensive game that required a higher purchase price. So let's just say that Grand Theft Auto 6. If you spent $70, $80 on Grand Theft Auto 6 to play it on there, Stadia made more money than you. But there's also the problem, if you buy the game from them forever, if you buy a game on Steam and you download the game, that data is one transfer one way, and that stays on your system, okay? They have a server up there, they found out how to maximize those costs. But when you're playing Stadia, the actual amount of data you're exchanging to get to the same data that exists of the game itself means that you're constantly going to be exchanging data and downloading data for a long time. And Stadia is only going to make that one purchase cost from you at that one moment. So that means if you spent $60 on a game or whatever it is, that $60 has to pay Google back enough for hours and hours of playing. If they have a hit game on their hands and everyone uses Stadia, they're gonna lose money. That's just science, dude. I can't I can't even make that up. That's how that works. If you have a streaming service and people are not paying monthly for the streaming service, you're an idiot, because you're gonna lose money. Netflix doesn't even work that way. There's no streaming service that works that way. It's insane. We just got a donation from Phelps USA 87. $1. Thank you very much, Phelps. This is just what I just said is that's the end all. Let's just say they release the next Ultimate game and they charge for that Ultimate game. Let's do the best scenario, $200. $200 every single person, and we're talking about a game that people are playing every single day. Every single day for months and months and months. It's the most popular game. The amount of data that they're going to exchange because people are playing that game online is going to rob them blind, because they will never make enough money back from that initial investment. You know why when you buy a PlayStation 4 they can sell you a game for $60 or whatever it is? It's because they can sell you the system for a little bit less of a cost, unless they're making money from the console sale originally. But that system is in your hands. The investment of the hardware is partially funded by you, so they don't have to keep paying for you to be playing that system. You pay for the electric energy on that thing. You pay for the internet cost, and now you also pay for internet services. Like, seriously, this is insane. They did not think this out, and they've offered no solutions.
I'm assuming that if they're bringing this service to the mainstream, they have some sort of a game plan. I don't know that we can jump to a conclusion that if there's a very expensive game that it'll immediately destroy what is Stadia. We have to see what they do in the coming. They wouldn't jump into this unless they had some hope of some sort of success. Yeah, you're gonna show me the list.
Okay. Yeah. So, 168 products that Google has launched, all have been shut down because they failed to make money. Did you know they shut down Google Hangouts?
No, I didn't. I don't care. So. No, it's not. It's like that makes no sense for them to try to make a product that they know is going to fail immediately. There is someone, you can't tell me there aren't minds behind this product that aren't saying, oh, okay, this is how we're going to make this work, and this is the configuration of the system. Like, it's not for me, but someone has hope for this. Someone has a game plan for this.
Look, they had to tell us what their game plan was. This is so important.
They had to show us.
They have to show you what there has to be some cost of investment in return. There has to be. Yeah. if you charge a certain amount, like because they just said it, if they said there was a monthly fee for all time that you have to be playing that to get the games, I would have understood that, okay? But because they said you can just buy a game once and have it there, let's say you spend Destiny.
So okay, do we know that like you can buy the game and perpetually you'll be able to access that? You don't need
That's
the
it.
subscription.
That's what they said.
Okay,
and that's it.
So are they hoping that the other perpetual users that are doing the Netflix like subscription will somehow continue to fund to have the blood for what is this service? Do you think that
must be the game plan? What they must assume.
There has to be a game plan behind this, and
they have to. I guess it's a gamble, but what they're basically. Oh, we had another donation. Thank you very much. What we're probably looking at here is that they're assuming once you've paid a full price for a digital game, that what's going to happen is you're going to get that game, and then you're like, you know what, I'm going to pay monthly for the service, or I'm going to buy other games.
Maybe you're playing that game so much, you're like, okay, well, you know, I'm on Stadia all the time. I was thinking about getting, let's say, the next Destiny game that's already out. But hey, I'm on Stadia all the time. Maybe I'll just subscribe to their service and then perpetually continue to play and play games in that ecosystem. Maybe that's how they want to get people in the door.
But they have to keep playing the games forever, and then eventually the server blades are going to go out of date, so they're going to have to make new server blades. Unless
they somehow rotate them in.
They'll never make their money back that way. So think of it this way. Phil Harrison knows this because he worked at Sony. There is this idea of an initial cost. Will Stadia offer Fortnite for $2 donation? Thanks, Brock. Stadia could offer Fortnite, but would you need it when everything you already own plays Fortnite for free? So here's the problem. Okay, here's how this works. You buy a PlayStation 4, Sony knows the metric already. If you were to buy a PlayStation 4, they know on average how many games you're gonna buy after that. It's the most important thing. Microsoft knows if you buy an Xbox, the likelihood of you buying another game is almost zero, kind of thing, right? Because they're having less success with the platform. So they know, based off of a rotation of numbers, sales numbers, they can actually give you that estimate. So Stadia doesn't have that yet because they simply don't know how much that is. But the initial cost of investment on the hardware usually means that people are more invested in that platform because they're going to go back and play again and again. With a streaming service, paying monthly, that makes sense because you're going to be constantly playing it. But when it comes to streaming networks like Netflix and stuff, there is this one cost in mind. If you're paying per month, there's only so many things you're going to stream in that month. That's their cost of acquisition. It's not how many games you buy, it's we can only afford so many data per user to download something. So for instance, Netflix, you're gonna watch a movie once. You're likely not gonna watch the movie 17 times. You might be that, but you're the outlier. The most basic person is gonna watch maybe a TV series, 1 or 2 episodes when they get home from work, maybe a movie or 2 a week. We don't know what those numbers are. Netflix keeps those safe. But Stadia, to be successful, they need the cost of like acquisition, the user to come in to pay a certain amount of money to keep things afloat. And if they have a success, I don't think they're prepared for that. Like if they give away Fortnite for free, they make no money from that, and they will lose hemorrhage money because of how much they're going to be paying for their service. I don't care how smart they are at Google, and I know they're smart. I've spoken to smart people at Google before. There is no solution to that problem unless you're just literally giving it away to burn yourself.
I'm not sure what the roadmap is for their service right now, but I think as far as we are concerned as consumers, the most important thing is for them to try to get us in the door right now. So maybe they are throwing everything against the wall, and maybe that is their approach. But I feel like anything that they show us, that they showcase us, I don't think they're expecting people to be buying full games on the service. I think they want to try everything they can to get people into the door, get them to that subscription. Everything is going to point to that subscription. And then eventually they'll have other tiers of that subscription that'll be a little bit more expensive. Maybe offer what is their premium experience. And then, they'll try to build up more of the lifeblood of Stadia that way.
Makes sense. Because what you're doing is you're like, okay, we're giving you this, but we don't actually expect anyone to do this. We're just saying it's an option.
It's like, no, you can buy games here, But I think the not folks like us per se, but to the people that are not as into gaming culture, they'll see, oh no, I can buy a full game just like I buy it anywhere, not knowing that it is, in the grand scheme of things, the most subpar of the three choices: physical, digital, or a wisp of wind in the cloud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's probably
No,
it.
it's the same thing. You buy the whole game.
Yep.
You don't have to stream it. It's fine.
I mean, it's not even like, this isn't even the first streaming service like that exists. But Sony already has one on their service on PlayStation 4, PlayStation Now.
PlayStation
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, people don't use it, but it exists, and there's a lot more games on that than there is on this.
Yep.
So wow, they came to this with like, it's like they're trying to sell you an invisible car. Like, I would not give you money for an invisible car ever, and that's what they're trying to go. Like, it'll take you places. No, it can't. There's nothing there. No, but you gotta believe. If you just think it does, Aladdin, the carpet will fly you anywhere. Like, nah, you gotta provide us with more tangible evidence that this is gonna work. My thought process, and I think the average consumer won't be thinking about this, is if I buy this game, am I gonna be able to play it in a year from now? And everything I'm seeing tells me this is probably going to be, they probably have a game plan to sustain themselves for the first couple of years.
They must, yes.
But the cost on this is going to be astronomical.
Yeah. So maybe they have a game plan for those 2 years. But if they want this service to continue to flourish, they have to start showing not only titles that are going to, make people come to the service, but like you were discussing earlier, just ways to use streaming with gaming that no one else can do. That's the great thing that you could do with a service like Stadia, that other folks could, because they are the first sort of gaming, streaming, first and foremost company. They could be doing things that could bring us there because they can be done nowhere else. No other company is doing it.
Now, I will state this. One thing Google has that very few other companies have is us, YouTubers. They could just give this away to every YouTuber and have YouTubers celebrate the platform.
They were even talking about integrating into YouTube somehow,
Yeah.
in that you could be watching a video like right now, and then we could be talking about Assassin's Creed, and then you could look to the left or right of the little whatever, the video, and then you could click a single button and immediately be playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I would be shocked if in a couple of months we don't wake up one evening and then a box just comes from Stadia with the controller and everything in it, just to incite us to play online and any other YouTuber, right? Because they're probably thinking like, look, we need to get influencers on this. We need to like tell people that this exists. And I mean, I think there's no other way to do this, folks. Like they don't have many options here. This is so like, you either don't buy, I mean, okay, the server blade cost. Yep.
So about the cost of the games.
Yep.
Were you under the impression that with the subscription, all games are included like Netflix?
No.
Okay.
Because they're not. How many games do they give you when you have a subscription?
Well, day one, just Destiny 2. And then more will be added.
Sorry, you buy a subscription and they give you Destiny 2 and that's it?
On day one.
On day one, there's just,
one.
and they're going to roll out other
added
games
regularly.
This thing's dead before it even started walking.
Yeah, I was assuming that there'd be a library of about 30 games or so, if not more.
Not day one.
So what's day 2 look like?
Day
Do
2?
they take the game back? This is. Oh no, that did not sit right. You're telling me you're gonna try and make someone pay to play?
It's for at least the first day. It'll be a Destiny 2 service.
Oh,
that can't be true.
Is it? Is that real?
Where'd you get that? We're talking to our producer.
Is this
right
on
now.
their website?
It's on their store.
It's on their website.
It's on their website.
This
you can
is
just
their
play
store?
Destiny 2.
Stadia.com takes you basically to the Google store.
Yeah.
The page where you can buy pre-order Stadia stuff. So it says for the Founders Edition, you get Stadia Pro, the subscription. The Founders Edition pre-order comes with 3 months
looking
free.
it up right now.
Yeah.
Oh, free delivery on $169. Yeah.
I don't call that free.
But no, so basically, I think you pay for Pro per month to get 4K. Free, you only get up to 1080. And stereo sound, not 5.1 surround sound.
Sorry, what did you just say? They're not even giving you surround sound at the base price?
Correct. You get stereo with the free bass.
What do you mean? Just turn that on. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? That doesn't make any There's no way.
Calm down. But yeah, so with
Yo, it's stereo. They're not even giving it.
Okay, so yeah, for the subscription, you get up to 4K with surround sound, and every now and then you get a free included game. But you still have to buy everything else.
And the free service, I don't think it's dropping day and date with
It is not.
No.
Day one, it's only for people who pay.
Yeah, day one's just that's
Canadian
such a huge misstep in my eyes. You should be
free service, access to free games. No.
What?
Yes!
What?
Yes! You're gonna give away one game! I don't care, Google! Just make the game and give it away! You have to give away a game! You have to! This is so borderline insane! You have to give a game away for free so people can test your damn service! It's like saying you can't use YouTube unless you pay for it. You can't use Netflix unless you pay for it. Even Netflix gives you that month for free. You can't say you have a free service that has nothing free in it.
I was under the impression that the free service would be offering like plenty of these sort of third-party games to entice people to come on in. 1080p, a little lower resolution. Maybe you didn't have surround sound. What does that mean? What is a free service that Stadia offers that doesn't allow you to play games? Can you talk to other people?
Here's a white wall. Have a go. Here's a picture of Phil Harrison smiling at you. Hugo just donated 20 pesos, I think. Mexico watching hot take stream. Great channel. Thank you so much.
Sorry, yeah, we're kind of crumbling right now, but thank you for the donation.
Lonely Goomba's in the chat.
Oh, no.
Lonely Goomba, you know what you missed? Nothing. There's nothing here. Nothing to see. This is insane. This is insane.
Do you like physical games? You're not going to like this. Do you like games you download digitally onto a box? You're not going to like this. Do you like games that you may be able to play for a year or two before a service is shut down? Maybe this is for you.
Okay.
I don't know. This sounds abysmal.
Stadia Pro, $11.99 American a month, okay? That might be Canadian.
That's Canadian.
That's Canadian.
American was $9.99.
Okay, we're looking at the Canadian prices, so $9.99. $9.99 a month. You're gonna get resolutions of up to 4K at a frame rate of 60 frames per second. The sound is gonna be 5.1. Buy games whenever you want. Yes, so you can buy games on top of that. Then you're gonna get Destiny 2, the collection, with your thing. All right, so it says additional free games. These are not free games. If you're paying for the service per month, the games are not free. They're only free if they give you the game and the next month you don't pay for it and then you keep playing the games. That's how free works. If they are making you pay per month, that is not what free means. They don't know what the word means.
It's like saying Netflix is free.
Yeah.
Netflix is free.
Yeah, so Shane, $9.99 American a month.
$9.99 American a month. Stadia Pro exclusive discounts on select game purchases. Yes. So they're going to discount some games if you're paying per month, which, by the way, that's not a discount. You're paying per month for the process. Like, this is woo! This is so...
Xbox Gold.
Yeah, but see, Xbox Gold, you pay for stupid shit already. That's why no one bought an Xbox. So why would they... there's just so many things... You looked at the industry and you saw everything that was wrong and then you went, let's do worse. So Stadia Base coming next year is free. You get resolutions of up to 1080p. So that means if you buy a game on that service, you're only going to be able to play the game at 1080. You have to pay for the Pro thing to get 4K and 5.1. So that means the games you buy are going to be limited. Unless you pay per month to play.
So would that be the only reason why someone would go with the free service, is to just like buy games as separate purchases?
I suppose.
Is that some sort of crazy thought?
Yeah, well, I guess when you buy a game, naturally you just get it in 1080p, 60 frames per second stereo, and that's it. That's what you get. That's literally it. Look at the bottom. This is cute. Give Stadia Pro to a friend. You can pre-order it and send it to your friend so they can smack you with the controller when they get it in the mail. This is not smart. Look, I know I'm hypercritical about things all the time, but I do that out of a place of love. There's no love or understanding here. I don't get this. This doesn't have an end game where it makes sense. You have to do something to entice players. So they have to start showing games off essentially immediately that are on their platform that you can't get anywhere else. giving Stadia 2 not away for free, but to people that are paying per month is not going to work when the majority of Destiny 2 players has already been established. They're already there. They already bought the game. You're now telling people to go pay for a service on top of already having purchased the game to get more game. I don't know. I don't think that makes sense.
Maybe there will be some other offerings that the Destiny 2 crowd will like on Stadia, and then they'll be like, oh, I can play Destiny 2 on there as well? That's great.
I need a frowny mug.
You need a frowny mug.
So Shane, the Lonely Goomba asks, who is the target audience for this?
Who's the target audience for this? I think people that are not traditionally into gaming.
Yeah.
I think they're hoping that folks that know about video games but were too scared to buy a console in the past could be like, oh wait, no, it's Netflix.
Yeah.
And all we need, okay, the controller's here. The controller's at Best Buy. We buy the controller, and then we're playing games on the TV immediately.
You buy the game.
What's
You
that?
buy the game as well.
Yeah.
And someone mentioned Shane was hating on the Switch. There was a lot of things I was critical about the Switch, and I did a video where I explained things they could do to improve the Switch's stakes. They did those things. They released not one but 2 Pokemon games. They released games early. There was a drought for 2018 where we barely had any other games that were coming out.
We knew that the Switch would be able to find success within the indie development scene,
And they got it, yeah.
They really nourish that, and that platform is probably one of the best places to play those games.
So the Switch, like, it found a place that no one could see. And then the things that were issues at the beginning, they fixed those problems really quickly. And they've made a system that makes a lot of sense now. We don't know how it's going to work in the future. There is still a huge issue with them actually being a success in the long term because they've cannibalized 2 platforms to make one, and they're only going to have the sales of 1 platform rather than 2.
Right, and they still haven't made up for that quite yet. But it is, we're 2 years in. We have to see what their game plan is moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see that very soon, actually.
So, yeah, it's not to say that Stadia, to make a comparison, can't eventually find its footing. It's just in showcases like this, we're not being shown new games. We're being streamed to, and the streams themselves, which are owned by the same company, are not working correctly. So it just does not give us confidence.
Yes,
we can only they give us things, and then we have to talk about them.
True.
And what we've been given has been very poor. At least the messaging is.
I mean, it's like there's so much they need to explain to us. There's so much they need to show, and they're just not doing that. At least with the idea of what a Switch is. You buy the game and you can play it anywhere you go. What they're explaining is you buy the game and you can play it anywhere you go as long as you have a stable internet connection. So like when they're showing you playing it on a cell phone, you're using your cell phone data to play that in the wild, and you don't have a controller on you. So does that mean you're going to use physical controls on here, or like tactical or on-screen controls?
I'm assuming, or like this is really dumb. Maybe they're assuming that you have one of those Bluetooth controllers that has the little doohickey that you just plug the phone into. But no, like who has access to that?
I'm literally helping build a controller.
Yeah.
I will not take that controller around with me day to day. You know what I mean? Like that's not what happens. You don't do that. It's like the philosophy of carrying an Xbox One controller around with me, and we have controllers that are slimmer and smaller. We've got the 8-bit Doom mini controller. That wouldn't work in this instance because it doesn't have enough buttons to play most of the games. Guys, I don't get it. I was hoping they had like a grand idea here of some concept, some philosophy. Even if they showed off like a cell phone style controller that like bound to your cell phone and was easy to fold away or something, maybe that would make sense. But what they're offering here is just a whole lot of flash.
I like the fact that they're not. Like, to me, if they're showing off a bunch of different controller designs that would hook into like iPads and phones and stuff, it would seem a bit overdone. I like them saying it's everywhere, you have your own options for controllers. We just don't think that's going to work necessarily. Like, I understand it. They want to be everywhere. It's just, the use case for playing these games on your cell phone isn't there as far as I'm concerned.
So, okay, we want to talk about some positives, all right? So here's a list of games that are going to be available on Stadia around the time.
Sure.
All right, so for purchase on Stadia, they're not saying giveaway, purchase. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Guilt, Doom Eternal, Darksiders Genesis, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Destiny 2, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, an awful game. I can't believe this is even on the list.
They keep updating it.
Oh, I played that game.
It's getting a little more Power Rangers-y.
Samurai Showdown, The Crew 2. Okay.
Ubisoft.
Football Manager 2020, Trials Rising, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Rage 2, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Thumper, a good game, right? Tomb Raider Trilogy.
Thumper is a rhythm-based game with music.
Yes.
Imagine trying to play that on a streaming device.
On that note, Shane.
Yeah.
Just on the note of trying to play a rhythm-based game on a streaming service, Gateway wants to make sure you know just how bad most of the internet infrastructure is in the United States.
Oh, I'm fully aware. Yeah, I know this. It's not just the United States. The United States has certain areas that are very spotty, but there's bad spots in Canada. There's bad spots all over the world. To rely on a stable internet connection that is consistent with you is pretty dramatic. Remember, you might think right now that I'm watching Netflix without problems. I'm playing video games without problems. You're not streaming that information constantly. You get buffering with Netflix. You get online data when you're playing an online game. You're not actually exchanging that much information, you know, because the majority of the game is held on there. So there's a lot to go on.
And when you're gaming, there are immediate actions and reactions that need to be calculated. And when you're watching something that's being streamed, things can be buffered.
Yes.
Gameplay, you can't really do that.
Tomb Raider Trilogy, Borderlands 3, The Elder Scrolls Online, NBA 2K, Mortal Kombat 11, Just Dance 2020, Farming Simulator 19, The Division 2, were you clapping? Get Packed, Metro Exodus, Grid, Final Fantasy XV, I can't read Roman, 15, yeah, 15, good, and Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I'm going to be positive, or let's just switch. This is okay, so Metro Exodus is a very demanding game to have the certain features that are available on it on PC. You need a brand new video card, or you can have a very up-to-date modern video card, but it basically has something that is called real-time ray tracing. Real-time ray tracing is a very cost-intensive process, and even on a modern computer with one of the best cards on the market, you're still rocking about 30 frames per second and probably not much greater than that. So, if Stadia does this right, they can actually make the game run better with those effects turned on. However, in the stream, they didn't show that off. That would have been a great way to explain, look, Metro Exodus is an incredibly demanding game, and most systems right now are not capable of running this properly. Real-time ray tracing is something that modern systems can't do, and the next generation says they're going to do it, but it's always going to be a very power-intensive process. So Stadia is going to run all that stuff great. However, they didn't show that, which makes me believe that we're probably not going to be getting that, because when they initially announced Stadia, they really didn't talk about real-time ray tracing all that much, which makes me believe that that's too much for what their system can handle. Like, just to make, because I know someone's going to say it, okay, you've got one server blade, so just take two server blades together, and then you have one game being run off two blades, blending the power together, kind of like running video cards in dual format. That's true, you could do that, but imagine the cost of having someone run two systems at once just to run a single game. That increases your energy consumption. It's insane.
And it all depends on how popular the service is as well.
Yeah.
Let's say there's this thing's huge when it first starts and millions of people are playing it. How many server blades do they have? How many can they allocate to whatever high performance games are being played at that time? We don't know that.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, like, there's a lot to go on this thing. We don't know anything about the Stadia, like, process now, because they really didn't explain that, but I'm just going to go into the assumption that they're going to be able to run all these games at absolute top graphics.
I thought we were trying to be positive.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm saying.
This is the most positive.
We're going to assume that all these games are running at absolute top graphics. Okay, like, I don't think it's going to be too difficult to run. I don't know what. Just Dance 2020. I guess they can.
I mean, we're seeing almost all of these are games that are currently or will be running on current gen consoles. So I'm not that impressed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I can play almost like most of everything on this list right now.
You'll be able to run it at 720p.
What?
Yeah, look right there.
Play games at 720p?
Yeah, they've got it goes below. You can play up 5 megabytes per second, so you're going at what, 480? But yeah, look, 720 is right there. 720p, 60 frames per second stereo. All you need is 10 megabytes per second.
Great.
So I don't know how many people are not gonna. I don't know, guys. Oh, sorry. It ranges from 720, so you can only run it at 720. That's the lowest end. All right, guys. I think there's a lot to digest here. Clearly, they didn't have a game plan to show anything here, because what's going to immediately happen is at E3, there's going to be a bunch of companies showing off brand new exclusive games to their platform. If you are enticed enough to buy one of their pieces of hardware, the chances, and we know this, that the next generation of systems are going to have, maybe Xbox might be a little bit different, but we know that PlayStation is going to have a disk drive. We know that. So the likelihood of you going out and buying a new system with one of those people is very high. What's going to happen here is that your investment in those platforms is going to be a physical investment, something you actually own, and you're going to be spending about the same money per game. Will you diverge from buying a modern video game system, and with digital games even, or are you going to purchase Stadia's games, having them in the server without any knowledge about what the future holds for them, with the real possibility that they just might shut it down? Is that something you're willing to do? Adam?
I basically had my mind made up even before this stream went live. I was holding out an inkling of a hope that we'd see some sort of exclusivity in titles or in functionality that would kind of win me over a little bit. I didn't see that. I've always been I've always been fond of collecting and having physical goods, and that's not going to change anytime soon. I won't be investing in Stadia.
Could you imagine launching a platform without like an exclusive game? You know what I mean? Like I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Even the Amico is talking about the exclusives that are coming to that system. Like we know what brings people to consoles. I can only get that experience there. So far, the only the main difference of an experience that Stadia offers is that you don't have that box. It's streaming, and you may have problems with that stream. Like
don't forget,
those games are being offered everywhere.
Don't forget, if you have a TV, I don't know how many people have Google-based televisions right now, but if you want to run Stadia and you don't have the right kind of hardware for it, you need to buy one of those Chromecasts
Ultra
and the controller for that. You can't just use any controller with a Chromecast Ultra. It doesn't work that way. You need the Google Stadia controller to work with that, because the Google Stadia controller connects directly to the server. It's not connecting to the Chromecast. There's a lot here.
Okay. Well, you've been talking about what you think about the service, but can you, in a nutshell, like, would you be interested in picking this up day one if they sent in the controller?
If they send in the controller, they send in the hockey puck. They make it like impossibly easy to get hooked up. But even then, I have Destiny 2 already, and the concept of me playing Destiny 2. Right. I mean, I will play it. I will play it because I would desperately want for this thing to be successful, because it's a great idea if done right. But in my mind, everything I'm seeing here, when it comes in, if it comes in and I get to play it, and I'm immediate, and I even see a second of break when I'm playing the game, or it drops resolutions or anything, what's the point of continuing playing when I can have a more consistent experience playing it on any other platform I already own?
I'm with you 100%.
That just scares me. Anyway, folks, thank you for joining us on the stream and watching this. I hope that we see more about this in the future that shows us something promising. But as far as I can tell, this looks like it's not going to work out. It just from this early point, they did not give us enough reason to believe it's going to be a success. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe something else will happen. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope very soon that we hear more about Stadia. But stay tuned. We're going to be doing all the live streams for all the E3 press conferences. We're going to cover everything because we really want to have fun with Nintendo and Microsoft. Unfortunately, Sony isn't going to be doing anything, but the two major ones, they'll be around, so we'll be talking about those.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us.